What's up, People's East? I hope this video finds you well. I have a short encouragement for you today, and I'm going to start it with a story. So I was between 8 and 10 years old, not exactly sure, and my family and I went with my grandfather on a hike to a place called the Wind Caves. And my father, my grandfather, and I were the only ones that went in and explored the cave. And it started like a typical cave, just gigantic opening, and then it narrowed as the farther you got in it. And it obviously got darker and colder, and I wasn't fully prepared for how dark and cold it was going to be. And so the farther we went in, the narrower it got, and we had a couple places where we were literally just shimmying along, crawling, a couple holes we dipped down into and then had to keep going at a 90-degree angle. And I got to a place where I was just so miserable and cold and just pitch black, and I just kind of silently just gave up and laid down and curled up in a ball. Like, I was freezing and didn't tell anybody, not a peep, just I give up. And I guess this is where I'm gonna die, is kind of what was going through my mind. I don't know what else to do. And my father noticed I was missing, and he came back for me and said, "Son, let's keep moving. You got this. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay." And that little bump was what I needed to get my mind right, and we were able to continue on. And as I was thinking about that, it's kind of similar to what we're going through now, in that this time when we're isolating and we're worrying about not getting sick and not getting other people sick, we're kind of isolated, and it's had different effects on each of us. Each of us have felt it in different ways, and sometimes you're like me in the story. You just quietly just retreat and just give up. Other times you're like my dad was in the story, like, hey, we're gonna be okay. There's gonna be the sun someday. We're gonna get back to it. It's gonna be warm again. We're gonna be back to normal. And either way, there's growth. Both sides give growth. Going through that struggle, realizing that you can make it through, gives you growth. Encouraging one another and being in that season where you're able to, come on, let's go, let's keep moving. We got this. You're made for this. It's growth from both sides. A couple verses that, as I thought about this story, came to mind. First one's Galatians 6:2. And in Galatians 6:2, it says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you fulfill the law of Christ." The second verse I wanted to go to was Romans 8:28. I'm sure you all know this one well. "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." So both sides of the story yield growth. Both sides of the struggle yield growth. And maybe in this season of time, you've experienced both sides, where you've been low, you've had tough times, tough weeks, and then there's been times where you're in the position where you feel like, all right, I have the strength, I have that fire to be able to encourage someone else. And there's blessings from both sides, and know that in either way, God can work out things for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. So now's our time to shine, church. This is what we're built for. This time, this trying time, is a time when we're tested and where people get to see, like, all right, these people are Christ followers. These people, they may get knocked down, but they have the love of Christ that helps them to get back up. Helps them to check in on those who silently retreat and who just give up, lay down, don't say anything to anybody. To have that ability to encourage someone despite, all the crazy things we're seeing, all the wild times we're experiencing. Like, this is our time to shine. So keep shining, church. We love you, we miss you, and we're excited to get back together with you guys soon. Take care.